So, today, favorite day of yoga so far. Like, I'm assuming it's because Nate probably has had tight hips or something, because no one else ever said anything about their hips, and I don't think he would make a whole yoga practice for someone else's tight hips, but it was literally just like hip stretching. Like, the whole thing was just stretching our hips, and it was great. Loved it. So that was a good start. And then right as we finished, their friend John, they were calling him Leon King something, but his name's John. He is fascinating. I think Orion would be besties, but I think like Orion, like Electric Forest Orion kind of vibe. But yeah, he's very, very nice. Very interesting. I think he likes McKenna. So yeah, he came, and then we worked. I helped Sunshine plant some tomatoes, and then weeded a tarp that I don't think is being, I don't know, whatever, it was fine. And then it was like noon and it started raining. We normally have lunch around 1, but because it was raining, we all just kind of came inside. So then I got all my reading done, then we had lunch, and then we went for a walk around the property so that John could see everything. And then we came back, and that was that. I've just been hanging out. Oh, big thing. So when Sunshine and I went in the greenhouse, we were like, let's start by checking on Wormy. Wormy's gone, of course, but at breakfast we saw there was a lot of movement. So like the garden, we ate outside on the porch, and it like overlooks the garden, and they have wheat planted in the garden, and there was a lot of movement happening. And then we saw Turkey come out, and we're like, Turkey, what are you doing? And then Furball came out, and I'm like, what were they doing in that grass? And so when we didn't see Wormy in the greenhouse, we're like, let's go look in the weed. And sure enough, they just like flattened a little section in the middle of this wheat pile and just put Wormy there. Like, no protection from anything. And so then it started raining, and Furball was just chilling there, and we're like, girl, you're not doing that. So Sunshine grabbed, so Furball was still there, so she grabbed Furball and Wormy and was like, you guys are both coming up on the porch, and like tried to put them in the little like cat tower thing. Furball did not want that to happen. They chilled out for a little bit, and then eventually Furball grabbed Wormy by the neck and went and took her back to the grass pile, which at that point the rain like chilled out. Like, it was light rain. But then Furball came back, but she left Wormy in the grass, and Furball just got up on the porch, and we're like, you do not get to be this bad of a mom. So then Nate went and took Wormy, and we were like holding her hostage because Furball was literally just trying to take her to put her back in the rain. Eventually we got Furball to chill out, and so then it was like she was hanging out on the porch with Wormy for a while, for like a few hours. Now, gone. We don't know where Wormy is, and now it's about to start thunderstorming. And considering Furball was literally going to leave her in the wheat while it was raining, now I'm like actually concerned that she's not actually going to be somewhere safe and dry, and she's going to like drown because or get like hypothermia. I don't know how cold it's going to be, but still, like, I don't know why Furball sucks so bad as a mom. Like, she likes her enough. She's kept her alive this far. But I'm like, the grass. You're like, oh, you stay here in the grass. I'm gonna go get dry on the porch. Like, you're a child. So anyway, we once again lost Wormy, but I did finally get to hold her. I was the only one that never got to hold her, and I got to hold her. She's so cute. Now we're gonna have dinner. Like a week ago, Sunshine said something about having pizza for dinner because Nate requested it, and then so then I got excited, and she was like, oh yeah, I didn't make it last night, so I gotta make it tonight. And then she didn't make it, and then she still never made it. And I'm like, what the heck? You got me all excited for pizza. No, it didn't happen. And then she apparently bought brownie mix, which is shocking, but was gonna make brownies and ice cream. And it still hasn't happened. We were joking how we're being blue-balled and blue ball with all this boo. But I'm really hoping that she will make the brownies tonight, because that sounds so good. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna have dinner, and then I don't know what. It was a chill day, and yeah, we only have Wednesday and Thursday. We got 2 days left. I have very conflicted feelings, because like I'm ready to be done, but also like I feel like I am gonna miss it. Maybe not Nate, but anyway, toodles. So a few things happened since I recorded. So we had dinner outside. It's raining, and there's like a little like cat tower thing on the porch, which is where they had tried to put Wormy and Furball earlier. And then there's also like a little box with a pillow in it. Furball and Turkey were cuddling in there during dinner. Wormy's not with them, and we're like, all right, she moved Wormy somewhere. It's like storming during dinner. All right, whatever. We clean up from dinner. We are washing the dishes, and I was like, I didn't pick any strawberries because it's been raining. So I go out to pick strawberries, which the strawberries are right next to the weed that we found her in earlier. And I heard a little meow, and I'm like, where was that? But I couldn't tell if it was like coming from the porch or from around me. All Furball, not there. And I'm like, what was that? I hear it again. And so like I'm looking in the grass like where she was, and she's not there, but I keep hearing it. And so I start like digging through the grass, and Wormy was there soaking wet. It was thunderstorming for at least probably like an hour. And Furball left her just out in this open grass field and was cuddling on the porch with Turkey, safe and warm, and left Wormy all alone during a thunderstorm, just getting drenched. I was so sad. So I picked her up, and then I took her inside, and we like wrapped her in a towel, and then we had her inside, and she was so cute. But yeah, Furball, I would think a mother whose child was just kidnapped would be like outside the door, like waiting, and like Wormy had a tick on her, and so we pulled the tick out, but she was screaming for help. I would think the mother would hear that and be like mad and like be at the door or the window. Nowhere to be seen. Literally does not care about this kitten at all. And so I had her like I had my sweatshirt like in my lap, and she was on the sweatshirt. And then Nate's like, well, so when we took her inside to like warm her up and dry her off, Sunshine's like, I think we need to keep her inside at least through the weekend, because it's supposed to get down into the 40s this weekend, like the overnight low. And then Nate's like, well, we need to give her back to her mom. And I'm like, her mom does not care if she lives or dies, clearly. What do you mean we have to give her back? Like, I don't know how much more she could prove how little she cares for this little kitten. And so we had her inside, and then Nate's like, well, I think we need to take her outside and give her back to Furball. And I'm like, do we? Like, but not gonna fight him because he's like, we can go outside and just like wait for her to come and get her because it's time for her to feed her anyway. So I go and sit on the porch waiting. Furball doesn't come. Nate comes out and he goes and looks wherever. No sign of any of the cats at all. And so I'm just sitting there and she was all curled up with her eyes closed. And I felt so bad. And she was in my sweatshirt. And he's like, well, what do you think we should do with her? Which, like, obviously my answer is keep her inside. He's not gonna let that happen. I'm like, well, I feel like in the greenhouse she'll at least be warm. And he's like, I think she'll be warmer and safer on the box on the porch. Which I'm like, in what world is that warmer? He's like, I'm worried about snakes in the greenhouse. I'm like, she lived there for a few days. Like, clearly it was fine. And at least she's not gonna be frozen to death. Because it's supposed to get into the 50s tonight. Which, like, isn't crazy cold. But for a little baby kid who doesn't have a mother to keep her warm, it's pretty cold. But yeah, he's like, I think we should put her in the box. So then I go put her in the box. And the pillow that was in the box was so cold and I felt so bad. I'm like, but it's in my sweatshirt. It's this. And so I had to take the sweatshirt from her and give her the towels, but the towels were cold. And I'm like, I should have just let her have my sweatshirt for the night because it's so cold. And she's all alone. And Furball doesn't care. And he's like, well, at the very least, we know that Furball will be on the porch at 6:15 for breakfast. And if she doesn't come before then, I'm like, we're just leaving this poor kid who, like, is probably traumatized from being thunderstormed on. She's just out there all night by herself. And he's like, we'll leave the porch light on so no critters come. I'm like, I don't think the porch light being on is gonna deter a critter if there's no human on the porch to deter the critter. But yeah, I'm like, you couldn't just let the kitten be inside for one night when Furball is clearly has zero interest in her. I'm gonna be distraught if Wormy is not there in the morning because I don't trust that Furball is keeping her safe, clearly. And yeah, it's supposed to storm more and it's supposed to get cold these next few days. She's so cute. Anyway, so I'm upset about that. But we did finally get our brownies. They were pretty good. But also, I don't think in any other context I would have thought they were as good. I mean, honestly, the brownie, it was pretty good. But it also tasted healthy, you know? Which makes the design, the enjoyment less. Even though it tasted fine. I don't know. I'm just being picky now. I'm just sad right now because of little Wormy. In other news, I started reading the Heated Rivalry books for McKenna because she's like obsessed with Heated Rivalry. So I started the first one and I'm reading it on Libby on my phone. And it really just feels like I'm just scrolling through Wattpad, just reading fan fiction. But it's cute so far. I mean, like, there is sex, but it's cute. Like, the book I'm reading isn't the one that the show's about, so we haven't gotten to all that. But like the relationship about the two people that this book's on, anyway, I don't think I'm gonna sleep tonight because I'm gonna be thinking about Wormy all night. I want to go steal her and have her in my room. Ugh, Nate, why do boys ruin everything? Just let her be inside for a night. At least you know she's safe and warm. Freaking Furball and Nate, both of them, piss me off. Anyway, bye.